Hello, my name is Jency.
Hi, my name is Alondra, and we're the hosts of the podcast Aging Out Loud. We're here to talk about movement and mind keeping healthy habits in mind.
And today on Aging Out Loud, we are diving into something almost all of us feel as we get older: the guilt of skipping workouts, and the stress that piles up, and the little voice that says, I know I should take care of myself, but where do I even start?
Healthy aging isn't about being perfect, it's about listening to your body and staying consistent in small ways and making movement a lifelong habit. And our guest today has made his mission to help people do exactly that.
With over 15 years and 30,000 plus coaching hours, he's helped busy professional companies and teams build strength, confidence, mobility, resilience, and much more. All the essential pieces of aging well. He understands that as life gets fuller, taking care of ourselves can feel harder, but also more important than ever.
Please welcome Canada's corporate fitness coach, someone who believes that every skipped workout is a reminder of how much our bodies need that. That mindset shapes our longevity, and that healthy aging starts with simple double steps forward.
We are literally so thankful that you took some time for us and just agreed for the recording, to be honest. So thank
Yeah.
you. So let's get started and tell me what is your mission? Tell me about yourself and how should audience address you, or what is the main purpose that you're driving?
So my mission, I have a crusade and a calling to help others, and the skill set that I have for that is, I think I help people become better, and it's not the same for every single interaction. I've got youth athletes in my life. I've got somebody who's between the ages of 30 and 50, and then I have people who are over that age of 50, and have different needs and different things, and I just try to assess based on the interactions that I have to help a person in the moment and over the long term become better. So that comes in the exercise realm, that comes in mindset, which is a big thing that I think I'm good at. And that comes with application and like accountability towards becoming a better version of yourself. And I've done that countless times to not think otherwise. That that's not my mission. So that's generally it. Very loose, open, I guess, but it's pragmatic and a chameleon when it comes to helping others. My company, I've had that since 2020. I do in-person group training, I do workshops, I have online clients. So that's still operating and I still have that. And that's going to continue for the foreseeable future. I'm also a consult at Depth, which is Kitchener Waterloo, and that's where I live now. So I moved there about a month ago, and so as a consult, I do in-person group training, workshops. I don't do online clients, but I want to have as much kind of like social proof or anything that I'm doing with podcasts, and that is not like in between both businesses. I want to move it over to Depth. So what the other stuff we're trying to get? Sorry, what was the other question?
Like how the audience should address you, or how?
Lieutenant Dan. That's how they should address me. I'm just
Okay.
kidding. I get called that all the time, and I'm kind. I'm not nice because I will not say something just to make you like, not that I don't. I just want to say the thing that you maybe need to get accomplished or that we're working towards, but in a nice way. So I'm a kind coach, very, very kind. And Lieutenant Dan comes across as like stern sometimes and maybe super hyper focused on the task at hand. And I think that's necessary for a lot of folks that I deal with. But my name's just Dan, Coach Dan, Dan Raj, D Raj, Raj, Lieutenant Dan. Those are all the things I get called.
I love that.
I've got lots of other people in my network. If you're looking to get more guests, it's just an easy intro. So if you ever look for somebody about sleep, nutrition person, I've been doing this for over 15 years full time. So I have a really deep network of people that I can connect you to as you start to get into the industry.
That's awesome. Thank you.
From
Oh, hi there. We're just gonna take a 2 minute break in order for us to introduce our digital partner, Tomorrow Thrive. Their podcast, The Social Prescription for Aging, explores a game changing idea: building as medicine for loneliness. They're talking to experts such as Michelle Hoare from Hey Neighbor Collective about how designs are transforming aging in Canada. From social hallways to community gardens that actually create connections. If you care about where you grow old, give them a listen. And Dan, you've coached people across generations, like from youth and to elders. What do you think is the biggest mindset, like mistake that people make when it comes to their health in early stages of life?
Trying to do too much.
Okay.
It's always the thing that will stop any momentum before it gets started is that you overcomplicate
Okay.
this journey of trying to be well or to pursue longevity or improving your health. Trying to do your nutrition 100% and then exercise and then like just everything all at once. It's too much.
Too much.
So and then you have to keep up with this a lot of the coaching that I do is like managing expectations. So talking to a person about their goals and talking to them about like their lifestyle, and then seeing if there's a connection between what is like an outrageous expectation of what they're going to be able to accomplish in a day and the weight that they put on themselves and the multiple different things that they ask of themselves when it's not realistic. And they have kids, they have job stress, they have like work events, they have travel, and to ask, this theoretical like thing that they put into their brain that they're supposed to subscribe to, it's too much and it's not realistic. So I think too much too early. Talking about that, the other thing is trying to keep up with what somebody else is doing is this bound to probably not be a great thing. It's good to have training partners around that lift you up and that you're working out with or doing healthy things with. But keeping up with somebody else, you don't know that that person that you saw on Instagram has anything else going on in their life. They might just be doing that. They might not have they just you don't know what's going on. So that surround yourself with people who have similar things going on. If you're a mom, hang out with other moms who are trying to be healthy. If you're a dad, same thing. If you work in an industry that's like super heavy and physical, hang out with people who are trying to be healthy who also have that going on, because I think you'll be able to like find a good landing spot, some like advocacy amongst your similar groups. But I'm not going to compare myself to a 21-year-old who's like living at home for free, who's on Instagram posting these things with perfect body composition, with tanning and settings and everything else. And I'm trying to subscribe to
Yeah.
that. It's like they don't have a mortgage, they don't have kids, they don't have the same stresses, they don't have the same schedule. So it's just like keeping up with somebody else is doing. And then the last thing is not hiring a coach. So people will go their whole life and never hire somebody to help them. And I think that's unfortunate, and that's a thing when you're starting out. You should hire a coach to learn to lift early. You should hire a coach to get the fundamentals of nutrition early. You should hire a coach to gas you up early so you know what it feels like to have good confidence and belief in yourself. Those are some things.
Yeah,
100%.
hearing that, and I really can resonate to that because something that you mentioned that it's like I think we both, Jency and I, we get to see a lot in Instagrams. Like you see all these people like doing everything right, like the nutrition, the working out, and they have everything like seems to be perfect. So it makes you wanna kind of like do it that way, but maybe not for the right reasons, right? Like not you're not thinking ahead of yourself. Like I want to do this because I want to feel right now, and I also want to feel good in a few years. And so you're just starting off at the wrong spot, and it's really easy just to start from that, just because that's what we see online all the time. Yeah.
Get off the internet.
100%.
This is what my dad would say. But I think the internet serves a huge value. Obviously, there's great things going on, but there's a lot of negative things too. So part of it is building up towards this manufactured and grandiose version of what it means to be well, and it's just like not realistic for a lot of people to do those things time wise, financially, and otherwise, and it doesn't align with their sometimes. And the cool thing is there's some that are like revolting that, and they're saying, well, you know what, I'm better without it, I'm better without technology first thing in the morning. I'm better without a device in front of my face on the weekend. I'm better without being bombarded with these messages of unrealistic expectations for how to live your life. Like, oh, I can't go and wear what I want because it's not fashionable. What? Like, or whatever it is for health and wellness. So, anyways, we can go on about that. Next question.
Be honest, I relate to you a lot because when I started my fitness journey 2 years ago, I used to watch all of these videos who are like Gymshark athletes and who are teaching everything, who are doing online coaching, and I used to compare myself to them that, oh, I want to be a Gymshark athlete now. Like I want to have six abs or whatever they are having. Like I want to grow my muscles too. But then the thing that I was not seeing is the progress that they had right now is like for 10 years, and I was just like starting out. So
Cool.
yeah, and you also mentioned one of the thing is like trying to be better version, and that's your mission, that you're helping other people to become better person, better human being in this world. But as an adult who is living multiple lives at the same time, and I think you mentioned that as well, that people are so busy, and they feel they can catch up later, and they don't really start early sometimes, or maybe they're trying to do so much. So especially for the people who are like too busy, or someone who are just busy, but then they didn't start because they are busy, or maybe they are doing too much because they want to do everything at the same time. What's that one small win that can make difference long term?
I always get asked this because, like, so the attention span of social media is so short. So I'm always getting
100%.
asked, what's that one thing? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So I'll give you a couple because there isn't one thing. It depends. Every question that comes in, it depends. One is starting with like vocabulary choices
Mhm.
for somebody who wants to catch up or get started. Is like, what's your vocabulary? I have time, and I got this. And there's other things that we get into with vocabulary, but that number one. Number two, something I felt helpful that I wrote down here was like, go work out with somebody who's 10 or 20 years older than you. Go lift with somebody who's 10 or 20 years older than you. Play sports with them. Do cardio with them. And you're probably not as good as you think you are with what you have going on in terms of like humbling you. And also, it'll be an inspirational thing to see somebody who is older than you getting after it, and is in shape and mobile, and they're handling being busy, right? And they're handling staying strong, and they're handling fitness. And so I would urge younger people to like converse with and spend time with people who are 10 to 20 years older than you, and hang out with them, talk with them, go for coffee. If you're of age, go have a beer with them. Like, do things with older people, and who are the people that you subscribe to be like. Spend time with them and see what their tricks and tips and habits are.
Mentioning that about like hanging out with older or older than us people. Um, for me, I've experienced that a lot with my boyfriend's dad. He is what, like 30 years older than me or so, but he is the most active person I've known ever. Like, and even though he's 30 years older than me, he has two companies, and like he has a family, he has to pay the mortgage and everything. I just see how much he, even though he's so busy, I see he's busy, like with work meetings and then with family and everything, and still he managed to every day run daily 5 to 10K, and then he goes for a swim, he cycles, and then he, like, every month he does runs a marathon or something. Like, he always finds time to stay active, and still, like, his life is still going on. It just inspires me to, like, I already have a good lifestyle that I like, but that just like encourages me to keep going because I see it's totally doable. And yeah, I just I think that's a great advice to give.
Yeah, it's a thing that helps you have good mental health. It helps you with stress management of all the things that an adult life brings on. Um, and you're probably not going to hear him say, "I'm busy." It's like,
No.
well, duh, you're an adult. Like, of course you're busy. You don't have to live and wallow in it. You don't have to wallow in the fact that you have responsibilities and small tasks to accomplish every day. Like, yeah, welcome to life. You're in adulthood. Do you think you're just not going to be busy? And so, and it's a great thing. It's the world. The world's full of opportunities. Every single day you wake up, you can, handcuff and paralyze yourself with the vocabulary to say like, "Oh, I can't get it all done because I'm so busy." No, you're not.
Question. So if you said like changing your vocabulary and meeting with older people, how would that affect into a long term when we are talking about healthy aging or maybe improving your mindset? Would you just like walk me through that particular radar, like
Interpret maybe something they didn't have planned, etc. One thing I will say for young people that there's multiple different ways, and there's people better than I am with vocabulary in terms of how they use it to their advantage. But one thing I say to young people, if you could use this, and I was taught this early on in my life and sporting, my sport career, my athletic career, and otherwise, is think of all the things. Let's do it right now. Tell me something that you have to do with your life. You wake up in the morning, oh, I have to do, name it. So say I have to, and then name that thing.
I have to go to school.
Okay, and then Gen Z.
for me, I have to go get some errands run.
You say the word have. I have to insert thing. Change the word have with get, and then say it out loud again.
Wow.
So I have I I get to school, or
I get to go to school.
I get to go to school. Oh yeah, I love that.
Change yours.
I get to run my errands, and then I get to have work on my plate because I'm grateful. Oh wow, okay.
No kidding. So when you wake up and you think of all the things that you have to do, and it comes to your mind as a sentence, I have to, change it to get. Because the reality is, there's a lot of people all over the world. In contrast, my wife chirps me all the time because I'm like, what about the kids in Africa? Do you think that, like, what about, not just Africa, but anywhere all over the world? Like, there's a lot of people who would love to have the challenges that we have in our day.
Topic about maybe not sometimes being able to do something or so. Some of our listeners may, I don't know, feel like they are out of control and they gain weight or just don't feel in their best shape. How would you say they can begin again without that guilt or like judgment? Just so they can actually start, right?
Guilt and judgment get a bad rap, to be honest. I think you got to admit that you've lost control. You have to admit that, number one, like admit that that's the case. Your habits are out of whack. How you're spending your time is out of whack. What your priorities are, what you're focusing on is out of whack with in relation to what you want to accomplish in your life. So admitting that, number one. So like being truthful and authentic with yourself that, you know what, I have lost control. You don't have to dwell on it. You don't have to sit in it for days and weeks, but you need to have a moment where you're like, you know what, yeah, it's not going the direction that I want it to be going. Stop. Understand the sky is not falling. This hasn't been happening for 50 years. You might be going through a period of time in your life where you've just allowed things to get out of control, right? So just like the sky is not falling, accept that this is where you are right now today. You're not there for the next 20 years. You're just putting yourself in that spot for the day. Quietly and like pause and then craft like, well, why are you going to be doing the things that you're doing if you want to get out of this state that you're in where you feel like you've lost control and you want to get better habits and you want to move forwards and get in shape and things like that. Well, why do you want to get in shape? Why do you want to live healthier? So formulate that. So those are some things in general to like just immediately think about. On top of that, get the hell off social media. Just get off of it. You're probably spending too much time on, let me sound old here, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. What's the one where you send pictures to each other? Snapchat and others. You're probably spending a large portion of your day brain rotting on all these things that are giving you no benefit. and then you all of a sudden don't have time or mental capacity because been hit with so many like unearned dopamine hits that you're fried and you're like, oh my gosh, my life is out of control. Get off social media for a period of time, 30, 60, 90 days. It'll be there when you're done, and then hire somebody to work with, whether it be a one time off or it's an ongoing accountability thing or it's in person or online, you get it. But have somebody that keeps you accountable towards that why and has you craft something. Those are my like logical steps for somebody based on the question and that you asked.
And let's say, because I want to kind of, what about people that want to start off, but they're older, they don't have social media? What would be like that advice that you will give them just to start without that guilt or something? Like, just not for younger people.
Everybody's a broken bird or has a broken wing, right? Or assume that everybody wants the same thing or that they all live with, right? I think that could be a self perpetuating assumption of what somebody else is. Somebody might not have any guilt and they're living it up and smoking cigarettes and they're happy. Cool. Like they're going to live their life. There's a portion of people who are maybe overweight, not active, socially disconnected, and they don't want to be, and they maybe don't have guilt but they just want better, and so you would talk to them about like what do you want to improve in your day, and then start with some of the things that matter the most to that person. So I think the biggest thing for somebody who's not like, I don't want to assume somebody is guilty or assume somebody's like a broken bird who's like, oh, I'm just I'm so dependent. Like I just would assess where those kind of those gaps are in a person's life with where they want to, what matters to them and what their priorities are, and then I would converse with strategies towards that. Big thing for elders, to be honest, is that not all their family lives close by, or do they spend enough time. Every single time I'm with my parents, they talk about how they would love to spend more time with me, and I'm literally spending time with them in person, and they're like, this would be nice to do more often. I'm like, I'm right here. Parents are like that, right? And I'm the same way. I've got a 24-year-old stepdaughter whose life I've been in since she was 9, and I've got a granddaughter who's 7 months old. So my stepdaughter is married with a kid. I would love to have them like live with us. I would love for them to spend as much time with us as possible. So now I get it, but also elder population, seniors, a huge thing that gets lost is just social connection. So getting engaged and being around people with that are like challenges your brain. So some sort of games night, some sort of social connection through activity, some sort of social connection through volunteering, charity work, fundraising, some sort of walking group, something to do with social connection for elders will then spark hopefully what would be some better behaviors, and surrounding yourself with some people that you can talk to about this stuff and troubleshoot, and be around trusted other sources of people that are you. And I think that's hopefully something that is of value for that question.
Definitely is. And just I want to add something about this conversation we just had, because on our previous prototype episode, and she mentioned that sadly one of the things that started like got her to start working out and getting into a better lifestyle was just being sick all the time, like, and she wasn't able to bend to carry her grandchild and stuff like that, which is heartbreaking for her, and that's what motivated her to start working out. And she mentioned to me many times, like, I wish I didn't have to, it didn't have to come to that, like that I couldn't move, that I couldn't do all these things in order for me to start. Just I wanted to be able to have started years ago and didn't have this problem, right? um and it's just, what would you say to people that, I mean, some people or are already in that spot, but just like how to prevent it, or not prevent it, but like, yeah.
I could give you all the theoretical and philosophical advice in the world. I could give you a top 10. You could put what I say into chat GPT and make it perfect with emojis. It's got to be this. So you have to decide that you want to live a certain way and have a certain life. An elder, a senior, a student, you have to decide. You have to confirm that with your own self, and you have to have a reason for it to be able to stay driven when it's cloudy, when it's rainy, when it's you don't feel like it, when it's Friday, etc. But you have to decide. And if you haven't decided yet, you're going to have a lack of success with sustainable, healthy habits. You just will. But if you decided for an elder or senior, I want to get in really good shape and be mobile and be active, to be a engaged grandparent, that's something you decide, right? When's the last time you called your parents for no reason, just to say you love them?
In the morning,
Yeah.
I talk to
Yeah.
them every day. I talk to them every
Amazing.
day.
Yeah,
Like,
me
Yeah.
too.
good. And that's great. And I know there's lots that do that. There's lots that don't. So if you're a young person listening, call your parents. Like,
Yes.
100%.
tell them
Do.
you love them
Please.
for no reason. Don't
Yeah,
just call them for money.
please
Just call,
do.
call them and say, "Hi, I love you. Thank you for raising me and not letting me die as an infant.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking care of me." And that's it. And that's the
Yeah.
reason
Yeah.
they call. So because it matters, and it's like they want to hear from you often, and the fact that you both do that is amazing.
They do.
Yeah.
Even with grandparents. Every time I call my grandparents, like I call them, I'd say every 2, 3 days. Because they literally raised me too. So they're like just so happy and it helps a lot.
Yes.
It gets my at least it gets my grandpa out of the sofa and he walks to the phone, grabs it and picks it up, which is I'm more than happy. Yeah.
You should maybe call them like every 30 minutes for a whole day.
Yeah, for him to be back. Yeah.
That would be that's like amazing. That's like the ideal.
And oh,
Yeah.
one more thing. Oh, one more thing.
Oh, one more thing. Oh, and grandpa, I forgot to. Yeah, I will do that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's so true. But let's talk a little bit of opposite side. So we've talked about like accepting that we are not there where we want to be, mentally, physically, could be anything. We found our why we want to start. We also talked to our coach, and our coach is also helping me build my mental and physical health. And he's, let's just say I talk to you, Dan, and then you're helping me become better version of myself, in every possible way. Like it could be just my opinion that I'm asking you this question, that it could go into a wrong direction when you don't show up for yourself, and when your mind registers that, oh, I did not show up just because I didn't feel like doing it. So how can you overcome that mindset, like, oh, I just didn't do it because I didn't have enough time, it's fine, I'll just do it from tomorrow? Like, how can you overcome that?
Well, that's so part of the thing is to you pull me back into what I wanted to mention was a client. So my client, I've been working with her for over a year, and she, prior to us working together, had lost like 80 to 100 pounds on her own through diet and walking and some like introduction, like a five couch to 5K running program. And she came to me and said, I want to train for half marathon in 6 to 7 months down the road. I'm already running, I've lost this weight, I want to train and work towards that in terms of building up strength and everything. I said, awesome. So we started training together, and we start working together. She's great. She's got 2 kids. She has a job that's super busy with conferences and networking and running events in Toronto. Her husband works for like a big corporate company. He's trying to climb the ladder there. She has family engagement. She's got lots of social. She's got lots going on. So part of the thing this week was we met up, and it was like, oh my gosh, I haven't lifted in 2 weeks. I've been walking and doing yoga and handling being a great mom and doing my job stuff. I just haven't lifted. I haven't like showed up and done lifts, which is a thing that I hold dear. I'm like, that's fine. You're not going to lose every single like skill in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
right? You're not going to lose everything that you've ever done because you just didn't for 2 weeks, and you're badgering yourself for, I think, no good reason. So we just talked through that, and then when we got together, I said, I bet all the money that I own that you'll still know how to do everything when we get in person, which she did, obviously.
Yeah.
Session that was at a temple that appreciated what she had going on for stress and everything else. And it was just a matter of like, okay, so you didn't show up for yourself for lifting. Like, what's the expectation here? Is the expectation you do 3 days a week? Where's that time? You have an additional responsibility with work to be downtown Toronto for back-to-back events. It's the busiest time of year. Your husband had surgery and is out not driving, so now you're the only driver in the house. Your kids are in school and are requiring drop-off pickup. What are we talking about here? Like,
Yeah.
why are you putting yourself in a deficit? So just realizing, like, in terms of somebody doesn't feel like doing it, or maybe they've not shown up for themselves, just like a little bit of awareness of where they currently are. So
Yeah.
like,
Also, it's like it's not about perfection. You don't have to, it's impossible to be perfect and do it all. It's impossible as well. But once your mindset has changed already and you know what is it that you're working towards or what your goal is, I can talk a bit about myself. I started also working out since I've worked out since I was a little girl, like swimming, gymnastics. I've done it all, and then like I stopped for a few years because life happened. My mom got really sick, so I stopped all the way. And then when her sickness got really bad, I was just like, I think I'm doing the wrong thing. If I want to live longer, and just because if I got to see how she was, sadly, it kind of encouraged me to not want that for myself. I I want to eat well, I want to exercise just so I can age well. And just that mindset of changing for the future kind of always, even though I sometimes life happens, I don't work out for a week or so, doesn't matter because I know I'm gonna go back to it. Just
yeah,
because I changed my mindset, right? And it's just the most important thing that you have to do, change what your view on it is. It's not it, you get to move yourself. And
yeah. Look at the span of 30 days versus the one day that you're feeling that day. How you've been the last 60, and do some backwards math on what your activity looks like for the last 30 days. You're like, well, I've done 23 of 30 days. That's great. Instead of the one day that you didn't do something. And I think you got to give yourself some of that perspective sometimes. And it's great. The other thing too for that is like you're talking about longevity stuff. I wrote that down as a key point for the conversation. And it's like, well, who do you want to be when you're older? Like, what are the words that describe you at 75? Dependent, breaking down, you know, old, decrepit, or vibrant, learning, growing, active, connected, happy, all these things. So, like, do that exercise. Who are you at 75? Write that stuff down. And then, if you have that vision in your head of who you want to be at 75, that'll dictate your day to day activities now. It'll have an impact on who you are today. If you have a vision of who you're trying to go towards, I want to be a guy who's got a collared shirt on, shirt tucked in, connected in my local community, helping others, active, always learning, always evolving, useful, kind. You know what I mean? Like that's who I want to be. So guess what I'm trying to be right now. And I think not enough people think like that long term because they're caught up in whatever they're caught up in the day to day. And a lot of people would benefit, youth and otherwise. Even I'm 41, so even people my age. Who do you want to be? You think it's just gonna happen? Like it ain't. It's you gotta have that kind of do that exercise. I think it helps a lot.
it, it does. It really, really does. And it's just when I go to my working out classes, I see the 75-year-old women doing some exercise better than I do. So yeah, it's just mind over matter, really. And well, just some changing a little bit the focus of the conversation. You work with companies to build wellness programs, right? Fitness in the workplace, you think it's important? Because I think people sometimes just get so caught up in it. What's your take on it?
Why is fitness important in the workplace? Gen Z, go.
Why is fitness important in workplace? I think it just connects us together. If we are in the same program or same community, I think it just helps us be vulnerable and share our similar goals professionally, personally. It could be anything. So I think it kind of just builds the community. That's just what my perspective is, and yeah, it just helps us connect with that human level connection that we need, especially in the age of AI. So I think connection is one thing that we build through this kind of program. But yeah, that's my opinion. I could be wrong too.
No, it's not about being right or wrong. Well, go.
Maybe I'd say motivation. Like, it just there's no excuse then. Like, you have it at the workplace, and I think also like doing it within the people that you see every day keeps you do-
Accountable.
like, yeah. So if you are like, oh, I don't want to do it today, like everyone is already going or something, right? I'd say motivation.
It's like fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the hardest part about a workout?
Yeah.
What is like?
Hardest, oh,
Like
what is the hardest part of workout? Just consistency. Like that's what I'm working towards right now. Like personally, I'm struggling with consistent just because I have a lot of things going on, and like especially finals are coming in, so like I have to focus on school more, work on a couple of things that I'm working on aside beside my school. So I know it could be just an excuse, but then just like just like consistency, I think that's what I'm struggling with the most right now, and giving myself a little bit grace as well, as you mentioned. Like I'm so hard on myself, and I think that's just what I'm like beating myself up, that why am I not in the gym? Like it should be at least 3 days a week. Like just go and push yourself hard in the gym. But well, I'm pushing myself in other areas of my life right now, and I have to shift my focus into like a much more positive way, which I'm not doing. So I think that's what I'm struggling with right now.
Alondra, the hardest part of a workout.
Just getting it started. I think it's just like exactly the I have to go work out. That mindset is like just the hardest thing. Going and start the workout because during the workout I have fun and after I feel so good. It's just the going to get it done.
Yeah, I love it. So I wrote down. You tell me when you ask me this question, and you're everything's right. So there's no like everybody. You have a group in corporate. It's all different people, different ages. A good book for I'm going to do book recommendation after, but it's all about generational diversity. So the book is generational diversity as the thing to be paying attention to, as to like motivators at work, as to how people interact as teammates, as to how they value or do not value certain things that the company gives to employees, how they accomplish work, how they communicate. Like a 27-year-old and a 57-year-old are different generations, and appreciating how they interact in the same place on a collaboration on a work thing. So, like when you go to a group fitness class or you have a group stretching class or you have a workshop that's engaging, nobody's wearing their hats of what they do at work. So,
Mm-hmm.
nobody is the title of their LinkedIn at that conversation.
Yeah.
Obviously people know what other people do, but if you go to fitness, it's the equalizer. It's the
Mm-hmm.
equalizer of it doesn't matter what your title is, it doesn't matter what position you hold in the company, we're doing it together and I'm just a person with another person.
Yeah.
There's a tremendous amount of value. The human interaction is a huge part of it. As you age, you don't laugh as much as you did when you were a kid. So you've laughed on this call. I have the not direct mention, but like it's inherently part of the group training session is to have people laugh and feel like at ease and have them coach led through technical things and have things that help them with time at the desk so that they don't
Mm-hmm.
like they are compounding their time at the desk with more time at the desk. They have things that offset that time at the desk. They learn something. They repeat something the second time in the week because they learned it in that session. They have overall well-rounded health wellness advocacy. So like their time away from work, their time on the weekend, there's conversations of all those things. And that's why these corporate group sessions are so important. So my goal is to help people work and live better, not just 9 to 5, 8 hours a day at work, be better at your job. If you are working and living better, you're going to be a better person. If you're living better with your hours outside the gym, outside of work, there's more likelihood that you have a nice, solid loyalty of some kind towards the company that provided that service. There's retention tactics there if you're the company. There's performance things there. There's less sick days. There's healthier employees, happier employees, more collaborative. There's all these things, right? There's all these things, and there's been articles and peer-reviewed studies on the benefits of it, of being active and exercising, and especially in the corporate.
Mm-hmm.
But you mentioned like the hardest part of a workout, consistency, getting it started. Yeah, I think showing up is the hardest part of a workout. Just
Yeah.
showing up.
Yeah.
Anything that can work towards that in a corporate setting to get people to do it is great. It could be a Teams meeting that's blocked in their calendar. It could be that, some coworker comes by their office desk and grabs them. And for being busy during school and being busy during work and in general having things on the go, it's like, ask yourself, are you a better version of yourself with everything that you do when you exercise regularly? 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're way better stress management. You're way better mood. You're way more creative. You're way more. You have more productive hours. You can comprehend more with studying. You're way better as a person, as a version of yourself when you have consistent exercise. Consistent exercise doesn't mean the same thing as
Yeah.
it a few months ago when you had all this on your plate. It just means exercise. So you
Yeah.
can change gears when you are having a compounding amount of additional schoolwork or life stuff to be different versions. Maybe now your exercise is 20, 30 minutes walking in the park and
Yeah.
around nature. Maybe it's a stretch. Maybe it's light movement, but it's still exercise. It still says, I wanted to do 30 minutes of movement. I did it. Task completed. Dopamine hit. Boom goes the dynamite. Next. So
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
here's is the thing that is a practical suggestion for somebody who has more on their plate with school and otherwise. Instead of feeling you have to adhere to an old program that was useful for when you didn't have that stuff going on.
No, I completely agree, and I know how it changes. I just love the way you mentioned that when you are in a group setting after work hours, and that then you don't wear a particular hat on your head, especially a LinkedIn title. And I think I just love that confirmation that I'm like, oh, if I'm working out with my boss, I don't have to like treat him as my boss or treat her as my boss, because we are in a group community setting, and it's just important for us to connect on a personal level in order to just like work together in on a professional level. We touch base on community, we touch base on mindset, but there's something that you also write about is being comfortable with discomfort.
Yeah.
And I think it's so hard when you're trying something new, as Alondra mentioned. Like, getting started is like the hardest part, and that's like you're gonna feel discomfort, uncomfortable when you're just getting started. But then being comfortable with that discomfort, I think, why is that important? Like, you have to get used to it, I completely agree, but then I think how do you build that mindset? Let's just say that, like, what's your take on that?
Well, there's a book called The Comfort Crisis. And the whole idea is that there's a lot of people that are just seeking out and wallowing in the most comfortable possible option every single time, and how that's not a good thing. So they're not presented with, or they're straying away from, or they're not manufacturing adversity in their life, and they're not overcoming enough things to build like resiliency and troubleshooting and confidence and belief in themselves, because everything's handed to them. You can order food in the morning for breakfast. You can sit around and do your stuff from your computer. You can chill and do other things during the day. You can do exercise. We turn the screen on right there. Like everything's, you don't have to go anywhere for anything these days if you don't want to. That is brutal. So it takes away steps in your day if you have everything from your home. It takes away social connection because everything's through a device. And so comfort is the thing at times that can kill you. Like being on the couch, consuming that, like, unhealthy food, and watching and being on screens all day. That is not a good trajectory for a healthy life, but that is where a lot of people are going. And so
Delivered to your house, or you name it. There's something that you can just have delivered to your house, or like it's so convenient that one click away and it's done for you. It's
I'm the
been
victim of it.
yeah.
everybody's done. A lot of people have done it, like Amazon, Uber Eats. You don't have to go out to the movie theater anymore. You just watch it at home.
Yeah.
You name it. There's all those things that are, for some it's accessibility. For some that maybe otherwise don't have the ability to physically move somewhere, so that's a good thing. But then there's also somebody who does have the ability to do it that is now limiting their steps and limiting their experiences and becoming comfortable in a way that's going to not serve them well moving forwards. And it's just like there's a balance, right, depending on the person. So yeah, there's a lot more ways to be lazy and comfortable these days. I think lazy and
Yeah.
comfortable in terms of there's a lot more ways to like seek out comfort than ever. Reading a book, so now there's audiobooks. You don't have to buy the
You
physical,
don't.
go to the bookstore, buy the book,
Yes.
save up money to buy the book,
Yes.
physically hold the book, read the book in your hands, and then maybe
Mm-hmm.
gift it or something else. You don't have to go to the library like people still do, but you can just get an audiobook, click Audible, done. You
Yeah.
read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That alone,
Everything.
yeah.
We've talked about everything from mindset to physical health to movement to building your confidence to just like reading books in your hands. So basically like not choosing convenience every single time and being uncomfortable and getting used to it. I think we've talked a lot about everything and we've covered so many things here. But let's just say if you want to sum up this conversation in like really quick takeaway, what would that be, Dan?
Well, I mean, I don't think there is one thing, and
100%.
right. So I wrote down here. Obviously, your social circle is very important. So who you spend time with is very important, and the fact that if you're spending time with people, young people, middle aged, elder, senior, and every time you see them, you're not moving. There's no activity. It's poor nutrition, and you're whining, complaining, or making excuses. That's a not a great spot for you to be in. And that's
Mm-hmm.
here. That's a lot of the times what ends up happening with social circles. So number one is that, and I'm going to go off the list here because I have them, and I think they're important. Uh, Morning routine. So having a quality morning routine will set the tone. And you might strike out in the morning and not have it be perfect. That's okay. You have tomorrow morning. So having something that is delaying your time on devices in the morning, that is making your bed first thing as you do to have a task completed, that is having a sequence of events that work well for you to have you in a good mood, focused, feeling good in your own skin, and mentally there with it, subject to evolve as time goes on, and know that it's not going to be perfectly adhered to every day. So that's good. You can't control things in life, and you can control some. Don't focus on things that you can't control. Focus on things you can control. Period. Your life will be a
Mm-hmm.
hell of a lot better. What is going on globally at times might not be the thing that you wish was going on, but you can't control it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to take on all the emotions of everything that are things that you can't control. And if you
Yes.
focus on things you can control, life is a lot better. You versus you. I think this is a thing for young people. You only have you, and then you have you, and then you have you. You are the longest relationship you're ever going to have,
That's
right? And so for you to contrast yourself to somebody else is I think it's irresponsible. I think you need to have people around you that try to lift you up and that you work with. But I think that you got to contrast yourself to how you have been the last 6 months with how you're conducting yourself, with mentality and everything else. Um, get outside, right? Get off
Important.
get off screens, get outside. There's a whole world out there for you. It's not on your devices. Get the hell off your devices once in a while, fully. Apple Watch, phone, computer, tablet, put them away and go be with other. Have parties that are device-free parties.
yeah.
Um,
Wow, love that.
that's a crazy concept, right? Like
No,
uh,
100%.
we
80,
need dinners
yeah,
without devices. Dinner
yeah,
Yeah,
devices.
yes,
yeah,
right?
that's true.
80/20 with consumption. I think if you have a friend visiting from out of town, and you've not seen them in a while, for me, like, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to go? I haven't seen you in 3 years. Do you want to grab a beer?" Yes, like, absolutely. Or we're gonna go to this special spot. We've never been there before, haven't been. It's a special occasion. It's not a regular weekly occurrence. It's not a daily thing. But I think 80/20 is a great moderate way to go about life, and allows you some leeway with experiencing things with others and yourself. And it's a great way to live, and it's a great way to not feel too strung out one way or the other. And then the last thing I'll leave you with that I think is important is like longevity resources. So the books that you can listen to if you like, right? That works for you. But Outlive by Peter Attia is a great book. Outlive: The Art and Science of Longevity. It is an excellent book. He's all over the internet broadcasting his messages. But Outlive is an amazing resource for people who are looking to like have good structure to how they want to live longevity wise. Built to Move by Kelly Starrett. He is a mobility guru, and he's built out what is like 10 different things to keep in mind as you pursue longevity. That's well rounded, very, very helpful. Younger Next Year is an excellent book. It goes between a doctor one chapter and the author the next, who's an elder person, and it just goes through what are the things you consider to help you delay the decay as you age. And those are some things, anyways, that pop up when this question was presented, and I think are helpful.
I love the book recommendation. I would
Yes.
love.
When you're taking advice from somebody, think about, do I want to be that person? Am I trying
Yes,
to be like that person? If the answer is
so
no, I
important.
ain't taking advice from you. Like I don't take advice from a dentist with no teeth or a mechanic
Right?
who rides a bike to work. Sorry. Otherwise,
Yeah.
certain people, they're the advice I take from, and I think that's valuable for young people because there's just so much information out there. And
Yes.
so advice from somebody who's been doing it for a long time successfully in the thing that you're talking about, and then it helps you, right? So, but yeah, no, I appreciate you making time to chat. Hopefully, there's some value there for your audience and
No,
some
for sure.
nuggets, so they speak, so they say, and um, get out there and go live your best life.
It was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking time to take this conversation with us. It was
Happy
really
to do it.
valuable, and I'm sure
Definitely.
a lot of people will a lot of
Resonate.
out of this, right?
Great.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much for taking time, Dan. We really appreciate it as podcast host, but the team also really appreciates you. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank
Okay, talk to you later.
Okay.
And that was Dan for us, who helped companies build better community through movement and mindset.
Hope you like this episode and gain value that serves you in the future. And we'll see you in the next one. Until then,
Keep moving, keep going.
you got this.